The first message arrived at 2:14 in the morning. No caller ID, just a photo. Her, naked, not with me. I looked at it longer than I should have, not out of confusion, because I understood exactly what it was. Her hand, that faint scar on her hip, the mole under her left breast. This wasn't recent. This wasn't an accident. I didn't get mad. I just blinked, put the phone down, and stared at the ceiling, the weight of the air pressing into my lungs. And for the first time since that barbecue, I could hear her sister's laugh again. Sharp, slicing through the dark. If your wife cheats on you, will you cry? Everyone laughed. She didn't. He doesn't last long in bed anyway, she added, like she was tossing scraps to a pack of starving dogs. I'd raise my hot dog. Message received, I said. Laughter exploded. She smirked, and I walked out that night. No confrontation. No goodbye. Just disappeared. Now it's been a year. They're reaching out, and for the first time, I'm not running, because it wasn't the photo that hurt. It was everything that didn't come after. No apology. No denial. Not even a lazy excuse. I changed my number. Moved to a different city. New job. New place. New quiet. At first, she tried, through friends. Concerned messages. Questions dressed as concern but loaded with blame. I ignored them all. Let them sink like anchors in deep water. I didn't need confirmation. I already knew. I heard it in her voice that night. Sharp-edged, deliberate, cruel. That wasn't a joke. It was an admission. She wanted me to crack, to shout, to grovel. But I didn't. I left her standing there by a half-empty cooler and her smug sister, and I walked away. But I'm not someone who forgets. Not really. Especially when the betrayal burns slow. I started gathering pieces. Not for revenge. Not yet. Out of curiosity. Maybe. The kind that keeps you awake. Imagining hands that aren't yours. I pulled our shared phone records. Saved them. Noticed unfamiliar names. Times that didn't fit. Jim. Visits that lasted hours after the gym was closed. His name was Marcus. Divorced. Works in insurance. Apparently has a thing for married women. With a taste for passive-aggressive cruelty. They met twice a week. Sometimes more. Sometimes while I was making dinner. She'd come home smelling like peppermint lotion. I assumed it was hers. It wasn't. So I hired someone. Quiet. Untraceable. I didn't ask for photos. I wanted patterns. And they showed up slowly, like blood blooming in bathwater. Obvious. Messy. Mean. She'd been unfaithful long before that night at the barbecue. Before the jokes. That wasn't the moment everything fell apart. It was her victory lap. Celebrating. Surrounded by people who already knew. They laughed because they were in on it. I was the only one still catching up. I don't blame them. People love a slow-motion crash. They just didn't expect me to put the wreckage back together. Sharper than before. The report came in a plain white envelope. No return address. Just data. Dates. Times. Locations. And one photo. The kind that usually ends a marriage. If I hadn't already ended it with silence. She was on his lap, at her sister's house, glass of wine in hand, wearing the necklace I gave her for our 3rd anniversary, her hand on his chest, smiling, not guilty, free. I forwarded the image. No words, no context, and for the first time in a year, I unblocked her number. She called within 10 minutes. Where did you get that? Not, I'm sorry. Not, let me explain. Just panic. Raw. Immediate. Beautiful. I didn't say a word. Let the silence coil around her like barbed wire. You don't understand. It wasn't. Click. She called again. Twice. Then her sister. Voicemails. Half-sobbing apologies. Half-veiled threats. Funny how they only reach for the knife after they've already started to bleed. The reunion was her idea. Family barbecue. Exactly 1 year later. They called it healing. I called it closure. I wore black. They noticed. She approached first. Tight smile, eyes rimmed in red. I didn't know you were coming. I handed her the envelope. Same contents. Untouched. She opened it. Color drained from her face. You've been stalking me? No, I said. I just stopped pretending. Her sister hovered nearby, already drunk, mumbling something about moving on. I walked over to the table, picked up a hot dog, held it like something sacred. Message received. I said, one last time. The same words, but this time they hit like a grenade. I dropped the hot dog, turned around, walked away. No one laughed. The road out of town was too quiet. Warm summer air, empty streets, clean hands. She'd spent the year convinced I'd return. That love was a leash, that my silence was submission. But I wasn't quiet. I was learning. I didn't walk away because I was destroyed. I left because I refused to fall apart in front of her. Some people scream when they're hurt. Others vanish. The secret is knowing when to become a ghost. I loved her once, blindly, completely. Now, I remember her like a nightmare you're relieved to wake from, but still taste the blood in your mouth.